Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a video addressing a relatively frequent viewer question, which is, Nick, imagine that you could keep only one pen. Which one would it be? And so I'm going to go on ahead and address that. But first, two things. I'm limiting this to the pens I have on hand. I wouldn't be buying something else for the purposes of this discussion. The other thing is that this is, as in all things, my personal opinion. You are allowed to say, my opinion is different. I would prefer something else. Or you're allowed to say, it's interesting you went that way, blah, blah, blah. But you're not allowed to call me wrong because, dude, it's my freaking opinion, okay? That's just what it is. So be done with it. But I would love to hear what your personal opinion is down there in the comments. If you could only keep one pen, what would it be for you? But these are the pens that I have on my table right here. First, to introduce the cast of characters, you have a Bic Click Stick pen. You have a basic pen that I stole from a Hampton Inn. We have here the Kaweco Lilliput, which is a very nice little tiny fountain pen, which is very pocketable, pretty excellent right here. Below it, we have the Urban Survival Gear Ti-Scribe Bolt. This little guy is absolutely a beautiful pen and has a lot going for it. Below it, we have the Machine Era Classic, which is, I actually own two versions of this. This is the brass. There's also a stainless steel one that I keep. This is a TWSBI Eco fountain pen. This guy's got a stub nib on it. Down here we have the, oh, come on now. Vision Metal Design LP5. There we go. Which is a very, very compact little pen that writes a lot bigger than it actually is. And that's kind of neat. And then down here we have the Parka Jotta. A lot of people have told me that they thought that was the Parka, as in like the jacket you wear, Chata, as in like a Chata plane. But no, it's Parka Jotta. Yeah, my pronunciations aside, this is my pen collection here. So imagine I could keep just one of them. How would I narrow that down? So the first one to go is going to be a Hampton Inn pen, just because I'd be worried that I'd stay at a Hampton Inn and someone would take it back. So we're going to go ahead and take that one off the table. Next, of course, is going to be the Bic Click Stick pen, because this isn't going to last the rest of my life anyways, so that's it's not going to be the choice for me. And what I mean by that more specifically is that, you know, the solution to when this runs out of ink is to throw the pen away. The solution to when one of these runs out of ink is to get more ink for that pen, and so that's a major distinction for me. I don't tend to like disposable goods just because it's an ecological freaking train wreck, so we're not doing that. Next one I think to go away is going to be the Vision Metal Designs LP5 here. This is a great pen, 100%. If you are in a position where you are carrying a pen every day but very seldom need that pen, but you want to have it there when it's available, this is a really good choice because it's freaking tiny. Like the size of a freaking chapstick or something like that. And so as a result, you can just throw this in your pocket, and there's very little penalty to doing so. But for me, ultimately, I end up using a pen a little bit more often than this, and this is just not a great writer. When it is actually time to start writing, not only does it take a little while to get deployed and into position here, but it is also using a relatively esoteric refill. It's kind of ballpointy. It's just not a great refill. And so, for me, that's what's going to kick this guy out of the pocket. Again, great pen. Very nice choice. It is in my permanent collection for days when I want something like super compact, but for me, it's not going to be my only pen for sure. Next one to go, I think, is going to be the Kaweco Lilliput. I like fountain pens a lot. They're really great for writing, in long form and things like that. And this is a very nice little fountain pen, but the simple fact is that the Lilliput is, Lilliputian. It's a small pen. It's great to throw in the pocket, but unfortunately, fountain pens are a little higher maintenance. They're a little bit diva-like. And so if you just have a pen that's going to rattle around in your pocket, you're going to get things like ink spotting, jumping out of there. You're going to get dry ink over time, etc. And so as a result, this is a pen that I like a lot. It's a very, very nice fountain. And if you're writing every day, that diva-ness won't be so much of a problem because you'll just refill it when it gets low, etc. But for me, this isn't a great fit for my everyday life, or at least for every day for the rest of my damn life. So we'll go ahead and put him away. Next to go, I think it's going to be a Parka Jotta. Great pen, but I don't really have faith that this would last the rest of my life. Some of the internal mechanisms are plastic, etc., and that's not necessarily something I love. But you could always get refills for it, because it's a Parka refill, etc. Good choice, and especially in a budget, not bad. But ultimately not the pen for me. He says as he throws it off the freaking table. Sometimes, my friends, just not a brilliant man. So that leaves these three. The Urban Survival Gear Ti-Scribe Bolt. This is the Machine Era Classic pen. Did I not? Yeah, I did. I must have. And then here we have the TWSBI Eco. So, okay. Next one I think to go is going to be the Urban Survival Gear Ti-Scribe Bolt. This is a really, really nice pen. But the thing is, it is also a full-size pen. And a full-size pen is a very nice thing. And for somebody who's doing a lot of long-form writing on a regular basis and doesn't want a fountain pen, this is one of the best choices out there. Just because this mechanism is really nice. It has a nice diversity of refills that it accepts. You can do Mont Blanc, you can do a bunch of things. You can do a Pilot G2, you can do, there are a whole bunch of different options you got here. What do I have in this in the moment, actually? Yeah, at the moment I've got a Mont Blanc refill, and you have to kind of shave off the very end of it for the Mont Blanc, but you got to watch full review. But anyways, you can put a very, very nice refill in this guy, and it will write just beautifully for the long term for you. So it's a great choice, but ultimately I'm not carrying a big long pen in my shirt pocket most days. Big long pen. It's a regular freaking pen, people, but still. And so ultimately this isn't the best choice for me on many days. And frankly, if I am going to carry something full-size, I probably want it to be a fountain pen. Because although I have mixed feelings about fountain pens, I think they are, in some ways, they're very, very nice for actually writing, but they're also a little impractical on many occasions. This little guy here is this is my favorite fountain pen I've had. Maybe the Lamy 2000 is a little nicer, but it's also a lot more expensive, etc. Considering you can get one of these guys for like 25 bucks or something like that, and especially with this stub nib, which I like substantially, this is a really, really nice pen. But the simple fact is it's not a great pen for your only pen, because it's a big, thick pen. It's a piston-filled fountain pen, which means it's kind of useless for travel, because you would need to carry your ink separately from it. If you bounce it around a great deal in your shirt pocket, you get a little bit of, splatter in the inside of the cap there. And the simple fact is that fountain pens they don't work for things like carbon paper, etc. And luckily, carbon paper seems to be going the way of the dinosaurs and the fax machine. But at least in many industries. Certainly there are industries where it's still a major thing. But this wouldn't be a great only pen for that reason. So that leaves behind this guy, the Machine Era Classic. This pen has been really, really hard to kick out of my pocket lately. The biggest thing it's got going for it is that it takes the same refills as the Ti-Scribe Bolt. So you can do a Pilot G2 refill, which is in here. You can do a Levenger refill. You can do a Mont Blanc. There are a bunch of different refills that fit the G2 pattern. And it's just a solid chunk of metal. And it's a nicely done solid chunk of metal, and that actually can be occasionally helpful. Like, I might end up in a situation where I've got like a zip tie is something that I need to get loose, and I've just been traveling. What I can do is I can slide this pen in there and then just start twisting the pen underneath the zip tie, and that will eventually break that zip tie. And I don't have to worry about hurting this because it's a solid freaking chunk of metal. I can throw it in my pocket, let it rattle around in there, and because it's a solid chunk of metal, there's no, fountain pen ink to splatter or anything like this. I can beat the holy living crap out of this, and it's still going to remain a solid chunk of metal with a pen, inside there. It is got enough weight that it's perfectly comfortable to write with. You can post the cap, which makes it very comfortable for long-term writing, but you can also just pop the cap off real quick, jot something down, put the cap back on. The only real downside to this guy is that it tends to roll away on you, but nevertheless, it's small enough you can just toss it back in your pocket when you're done. This pen is really good. This is the pen that has made me largely stop looking at everyday carry pens, certainly small ones. My eye may wander towards fountain pens or mechanical pencils, things like that, but oh man, is this thing good. And so I really, really like this guy. And then to top it all off, you may be thinking, well, Nick, come on, you like it, so it must be like $1 bazillion. No, it's like 35 bucks or something last time I checked. That's good. That's real good. And you can just get any G2 refill. So for me, if I had to just keep one pen for the rest of my life, that's going to be it. I would definitely miss fountain pens on many days, but yeah, this is just good. This is really good. So anyways, hope this was interesting, that I made the right call. Let me know down in the comments there what your number one pen would be. But mostly, I hope that you have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.